What's good, everybody? It's your boys on All Rights Reserved. Today, we're going to have a conversation about Angela Simmons, and specifically now she's with Yo Gotti, but we're going to go through a lot of different things. She was previously with Daniel Jacobs, Lil Bow Wow, as we know, on Growing Up Hip Hop, whoever else she was with, and you know people I didn't name just now, but those are just a few. And just thinking about that, think of that. That's two to three different people. How many people have they had sexual intercourse with? Those people are too accounted for her. Because when you do things with somebody, you're taking on the risk that they did with someone else. So all those are coming together. So those bodies are added to you. That's why it multiplies. That's how disease spreads. So you got to keep that in mind. And it's like a lot of kids don't notice, which is very shocking because it's been prevalent. Like this is stuff I grew up knowing. And nowadays, kids don't know it at all. Like they just never heard about it. And it's very alarming because this is how disease is spreading. The diseases that people knew that were in certain lifestyles is now spreading to the normality of man and woman because of this promiscuity. So promiscuity, if you didn't understand, is what I'm talking about. It's getting around with different partners and not being mindful of your habits. So you're sleeping around with them, not using protection. They may say, "Oh, I'm on birth control," but you can still get pregnant. It doesn't matter if you're on birth control. You can still get pregnant. That's ultimately that. See, in my day and age, we knew that, but nowadays they're saying the filling, this, like honestly, it don't even matter if you're doing it, period. It's about disease. It's about disease. People make it about pregnancy. No, it's about disease. Because I know a lot of people that got diseases that they can't get rid of. See, in this day and age, it's like they don't think like that. Like I said, these youth are different. They don't think that way till they get it and they're crying. See? It's crazy. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 18. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. So when you fornicate, you do sex before marriage, those acts, we've all made the choice, made the decision, it's happened. But when you do that, you chance things. That's why I said use protection. If you're not using protection, that's when you're really taking a chance. And people don't think about that. They'll just take the chance to say, "Oh, I should be fine," and not think about if they could get a disease from the person. Because they say, "I'm clean," but did they check? See, they don't check, they talk. Galatians chapter 5, verse 19 to 21. Now that the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness. Give me a second. I gotta roll the screen down. Lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, conditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit kingdom of God. So when you're constantly messing around with different people, taking chance after chance, you risk a lot because when you're messing around these people, you could be in situations. So for instance, I'll tell you a quick story. There was a situation where I took a girl's word for it, that she was single, she was good, she was ready to be with somebody, and then it ended up she had multiple boyfriends, and I ended up in a quarrel with that in the middle of the street, straight up, not knowing, really taking this girl's word for it. Things almost went another way, but God was there. He let it happen a way where it was civil at the end, and the guy backed down. He chilled. But that was me being young and believing the girl that she wasn't with somebody. See, you can't even take someone's word for something. It could be a lie. Same thing. They could say, "I don't got a disease." They really got a big disease. And you're like, "Oh my goodness." You never know. Like there was girls that I seen, and sometimes you could tell they got a disease by the way their body, what they're covering up. You could look at the areas near the private. You could see certain lumps and bumps, certain things that tip you off to say, "Wait, hold on." And you got to make a decision. I learned those things from a doctor and many different people. Like I learned to protect myself in that way. So it's very important that people learn to manifest protection for their life. You only get one. Okay? Now I'm going to get into it. Corinthians 10 and 13. There hath no temptation taken you but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So what happens is we make choices, but when you have faith in the Father, He'll make a way for you to escape. He'll heal you. He'll do miracles for you and make a way you can escape the situation when dealing with these type of sins. So you got to keep your eye on God. That's number one. Got to put God first. That's how you make your way out of these terrible situations and away from sin that is going to destroy you. Because doing these things can take your life, can cause very bad things to happen. Okay, let's see where we're going. And understand, a lot of these things are in 1 Corinthians, a lot, because it goes into detail about the actions of man. Let's see, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 22. Flee also youthful lust, but follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace with him that call on, that call on the Lord out of a pure heart. So when you're asking the Lord, again, like I told you, calling on him in purity, like, Lord, I got it. I don't know what's going on. I need your help. I need your guidance. He will lead you. Don't worry. He's going to lead you. Have faith and have no fear. Fear is not of God. So if somebody's talking fear or you're scared, no, that's not God. That's Satan. If you feel fear, that's not God. God says, fear not. He never, honestly, fearing before him and cowering, that's Satan. That's almost a sin. I'll read that to you if you're curious, but it's basically a sin when you're fearing and you got fear in your heart and different things when you're standing in righteousness. But when you're evil, doing something wrong, no, you need to be fearful, because your soul can be taken and it's straight to hell for you, straight to hell, because you're doing evil and you're being ignorant and you're moving in the way of the devil. God tells you, move with me, move with the devil, make your choice. When you're moving with Satan, you're going to have fear, because when you get hit or if you die, it's to hell, because you're doing wrong. That's all. That's the thing. And most people don't know that, or they, like, again, I told you, being tough. No, that's the devil trying to be tough. God will allow someone to calmly, again, handle business. What is this? 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 22 is what we read. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 3. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, if you remember, we already spoke on covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becometh saints. So when you're a saint, he wants you to contend with keeping away from uncleanliness and covetousness. So that's a bottom line thing to tell if a person has God in them. If they're being all over the place, if they're with this person, that person, and they're being having uncleanness and being covetousness, sort of like gathering to do their sin, planning to do it and doing it without regret and trying to just go to have fun when they're not really thinking of what his word stands on. They're taking themselves to a very bad place, whether they know it or not. It doesn't matter. They need to pull back from making these decisions and make it wisely. You know what I mean? As that is preservation of life. I can't tell you how many times in the middle of these type of sins, I've almost lost my life. Like, I mean, straight up on missions to go do something sinful and almost lost my life. And most people don't get it till they do lose. I know a lot of people who aren't here to think about it like I'm thinking about it now. So you guys need to think about it and be serious, because being young doesn't mean you're invulnerable. I mean, it doesn't leave you in a place where you're invincible. Like, you're not invulnerable, you're not invincible. There's no way you can defeat or avenge anything coming to you unless God is behind you. God is the one who intervenes to save your life. If you don't know that, you're going to be in trouble, because you get left out there talking tough, talking hard, and then you get your wig split. You know where you go. Like, it's that type thing. It's that type time. And a lot of dudes don't know that. And that's why when you see all these young dudes leaving here in some tough stuff, they're going straight to hell. Like, that's all. They're not going to a comfortable place when they wanted to talk tough, act hard, pull out a gun, or say they're going to do something to something. They're not going to heaven. They're going straight to hell, where they can act tough all they want, but they'll be burning in agony for eternity. You got to be careful of these things in situations that happen like this. Choices. It's all choices. Okay, let's get it. Where we at? I'm just going through them. Some of these are connect. Like I told you, a lot connect. We've already spoke about it. Let's see. Romans 13:13. Chapter 13, verse 13. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting, in drunkenness, not in chambering, and wantonness, not in strife and envying. Now, we're not perfect. There's some sins I too am working to fight through as a human being, but I'm sharing this with everybody because we should all be fighting through it together. In the days of old, everybody worked together to fight through it. It was teamwork. And they bumped off of each other like brothers, like, hey, okay, are you trying to do this? What you doing? That's how you stay solid. That's what the disciples did. That's why they were so solid. That's why they walked with God and never veered from him, because they were solid that way. So when we're walking honestly day to day, you're keeping honest with everything you're doing. You're not looking for a way to lie. You're not looking for a way to slick by, trick somebody, steal. And you're not rioting and in drunkenness. So you're not looking at can I get drunk today? What can I do to get high today? Like, those are the things that you got to fight as a human being. It's the flesh. We got to do everything we can to prevent doing things outside of his will. It's not easy, but you got to fight. It's a daily struggle. But the more sins you defeat, the closer to his kingdom you get. Okay. And the strife, unwantonness, basically thinking like just lacklusterness, like whatever happens, happen. Like whatever happens today. I'm cool with it. Like, you can't be that way. You got to be very specific. I can't just be whatever about what I do. You got to be very knowledgeable and specific. Same thing. When you go to buy something, you go to buy something. You don't go to just look, to browse and buy whatever. No, you go to look and browse. You buy what you want. You don't buy whatever's on the shelf. You buy with knowledge, with understanding. We got to move with understanding. We can't play with it. Okay, strife and envy. You don't envy another person, ever. Look for your blessings from God. I don't envy no one. Like, guys hit me up saying they making millions. I'm not envying you. I pray for you, because if you're going to brag about that, it tells me that God got a slip knot for you, a tripfold for you that Satan has created. He's not going to save you. When it comes, he ain't going to save you because you didn't care about him. And the thing is, you don't hear about it. Remember, I told you, a lot of these guys don't go out. They don't go out a lot because when they go out, something bad happens every time, because they don't care about God. They care about their money. They care about their riches. They care about doing something major for myself. I don't need God to do it. They're all about self. When you're like that, God leads you to your own destruction. You're going to destroy yourself. It's going to be over. So you got to be knowledgeable about this stuff. It's very important. Now, with that tied into Angela Simmons, my thing with Angela Simmons, she's been around with different men. And Yogati said he'd been trying to get with her. So he's been trying to do right by her, allegedly, as he said. But she's not been respectful to it. So now she thinks she's in a situation comfortable. No, just because you're there, don't worry. You're just as disposable as his image was to you earlier, before you were with these other men. So my thing to you is, you're going to be there smiling now, but don't be sitting there comfortable, because you were wrong to diss him in the first place just to be with these other guys who did you dirty. So how do you think that you deserve comfort in that, but you did all these other guys dirty, and vice versa? You never thought about that before now, but now you're going to sit there stunting on people like, look who I got. That's not how life works. God will not allow things to work out for your favor because you do not think of God. Are you acting with God? Now, this is a relationship you're dating. Are you looking to take things further? See, that's the thing. If you're looking to just hook up, looking to just get with them, it's not going to work out in your favor. You're going to get caught up in your sin. And I can say those are the times where I almost was taken out of here. Not by somebody else, but by life. Like, tragic events happen. And I was like, what? Like, in shock. I'm telling you, that's how life works. You got to keep your mind on God and ask him for discernment, because we all need discernment in this world. We all need to know what we're doing. We all need to understand it. And only God can give us that insight. Not us through gematria, not us through presumptions, not us through knowing. We only got to trust in God. He's the only way. The way, the truth, and the light. By no other man shall we enter the kingdom. Understand that. You got to give your life to Christ. He's the only one. There's no other way around it. Everybody can laugh, joke, say that ain't true. But then again, when you close your eyes for the last time, you'll be in agonizing torment, and you'll be wishing. God will bring it to your mind. You'll be wishing you made the choice to be with God. You'll wish, but it's too late. You're gone. It's over. Okay? It's that simple. You know what I'm wrong. Like, I'm trying to tell you, this is why I'm doing this. I got to educate the youth. And you guys are trying to destroy the youth. But you know how I rock. Subscribe, share, hit that like button. All rights reserved.